Okay.
weeks.
Do you want to ask him first, Deb? That's okay.
Oh, he knows it's okay. He gets this all the time.
We just need to
We're
record
gonna put
the
it on
answers.
YouTube.
We're not going to put it on. We just want to
We
make
all
sure
have
we got it
memory
right.
issues.
Oh, that's fine.
We have a list of questions though. For
Okay.
You.
Okay.
Do you want to start, Gramps?
No, you start because
Let me ask you first. Are you breathing better?
yes.
Do you have any chest pain?
No, I never have had any chest pain.
Okay.
But you did have
Heaviness.
pressure on your
She
chest,
uses
Mom.
pressure
I had
and
that
pain
pressure,
different.
Right,
but I didn't
right.
equate that with pain.
Okay. You had chest heaviness,
Oh, yes.
and that's why yesterday we did the stress test,
yes.
and the stress test did not show any blockage in your coronary arteries, which is very good.
That's good.
Especially
And-
for a 95-year-old.
So it was
Yeah,
just,
you're a young 95.
it was just the water.
Yeah,
That
you
was
had
causing
some.
the heaviness.
Yes, it was a congestion in the lungs that caused that heaviness.
Ah, really?
Right. Yeah. Sometimes if you've got fluid in the lungs, it
Uh-huh.
can cause chest pressure, chest pain, heaviness. Sometimes, like they say, elephant is sitting on my chest. Doesn't let
Right.
me breathe.
So was it water in her heart or just?
In the lungs.
It was just in the lungs.
Right.
It wasn't around her heart.
No. The reason the fluid got there is because you have a couple of leaky valves, mitral valve and tricuspid valves.
Uh-huh.
They're a little leaky.
Uh-huh.
And when the heart contracts, instead of the blood going to aorta to go to your brain, arms, legs, everywhere else, it's leaking back to the lungs, and the water portion of the blood is seeping out
Okay.
and is sitting in those little air sacs and doesn't let the exchange of oxygen with CO2, which is the bad gas we're supposed to exhale.
Uh-huh.
So it prevents that process or slows down, and as a result, you become short of breath.
Well, I have a different scenario for that. I've had this rhinitis, I guess they call it, for years. Where
You had what?
rhinitis
Rhinitis, okay.
created a lot of phlegm,
Mhm.
and it's constantly there. When I wake up in the morning, that phlegm is maybe it could soak 5 or 6 cleanings, and it's always there.
Okay.
And then my nose runs all through the day. Kids know that.
Okay. Have you ever tried medications like Zyrtec, Claritin,
Oh,
those kind of things to
no.
reduce the secretion of your sinus?
No,
That's what the boys use too, even for allergy. Yeah.
You should use that.
is that an over-the-counter?
Uh-huh.
It's over the counter, and that reduces the production of fluid, so your sinuses won't fill up.
Yes.
You won't have runny nose all day,
Mhm.
and at night you won't have what they call post-nasal drip.
Yeah.
Because when you're sleeping like that, the water that is running all day is going to go backwards, and sometimes can go to the lungs
Yeah.
and cause aspiration pneumonia or other issues. So you want to keep
She's
that
just
dry.
been figuring
and
out
Claritin
that
or-
she does feel a lot better when she uses her puffer. They've given her treatments.
Right.
That's really helped her.
Yeah, so that puffer does help me.
But those are separate issues, is what you're saying. They have nothing to do with why she's got water around her heart.
No, asthma wouldn't cause that.
Okay.
Asthma is another problem
Okay.
that sometimes you can inhale something in the air that triggers your asthma
Right.
by narrowing the airways.
Yeah.
And that's why you hear that wheezing, because it makes a flute type sounds.
Right.
It's like musical sound
Yeah.
because the diameter of your bronchial or the airways changes. And by giving like steroids, breathing treatment, you open this up
Right.
so the air can go in, wheezing goes away, you breathe better. But asthma is totally different thing. And usually what people do, they use albuterol, they call it rescue inhaler. When you have that shortness of
She's
breath,
got that.
yeah, you take a couple of puffs every 4 to 6 hours to get rid of that. But what if you get a lot of asthma attacks, then you have to use Advair, which is another inhaler that you use 1 puff in the morning, 1 puff at night. That gives you like 24-hour
I see.
protection. And then when you have the acute attack, breakthrough attack, you use the albuterol. That's the way to go.
And that's pretty much what they've been giving you, grams. But should we get her? She doesn't have a pulmonologist. Would that be something we should consider? I hate taking her to another doctor, but she's seeming to have more issues more often than not.
How many asthma attacks do you get in a week?
I've never noticed this being a problem until about, I'd say 2 months ago.
Okay, maybe this is what's causing it, and you feel like it's the asthma.
Yeah.
So
once
could be moved.
Yeah, once you have fluid in the lungs, you can't breathe. When you have
Okay.
asthma attack, you can't breathe.
Right.
So maybe it's this that is doing. So my suggestion to you would be just continue what you were using for your asthma,
I think so.
and then I'm going to put you on a new medicine, which is called Lasix.
Uh-huh.
The one that makes you go to the restroom all the
Yes,
time.
yes. But you take that in the morning. So by the nighttime, you don't have to go
I'll
to the
get up all
restroom, so
the
you
time.
can sleep well.
And that's
So-
pill form?
It's a
Right
pill
now,
form,
I
yes.
should tell you that they gave me that Lasix injection last night about dinner time, and I never peed after that. So,
Okay. Yeah, sometimes.
You might be water free. So I have a question about that. Her blood pressure runs anywhere from 140, the top number, 140 to 170 a lot. And she's on meds as it is. Getting her blood pressure down has never been easy. And now all of a sudden, because she's here, it's floating around the 120s, which is beautiful. Is that because you're taking out the water?
Yes, you're taking out water. Lasix takes the water out, at
Right.
the same time drops your blood pressure too.
Okay.
But again, in her age, you don't want to drop her blood pressure
Yeah.
all of a sudden too low.
Right.
Because as we age, our arteries hardens,
Right.
and it creates higher pressure. If somebody lives around, let's say 140, 150, if you drop their pressure to like, let's say 110, which
Yeah.
is a beautiful blood pressure,
Right.
but they may not feel good.
Okay.
They may feel
So we gotta watch her
lightheaded,
now.
dizzy,
It's
yes.
120. Okay.
So it's not like GM cars that you have to have so many revolutions.
Yeah.
Each person is different.
Right.
Like pain threshold, some people complain of pain all the time. Some people, they have the extreme pain, but they never say I have pain.
Right.
Some people run faster, some people cannot run so fast. So people are different. So we have to treat you where you will be most optimal. Your heart, your lungs, and everything else. Your numbers may not be good for you, and your numbers may not be
We
good for
gotta
you.
find her comfort
Right,
part.
right.
well, what brought me to the hospital is I woke up one day and my blood pressure was 190 over 90,
Mhm.
which was really high for me.
But her pulse was showing at 33. And then when they so then they brought her in here and it showed 33. So they hooked her up to another machine, and the guy says, wait a minute, all of a sudden it doubles. It was as if they were hearing the first beat, but the second beat was too light for the machine to pick up.
Right.
Something about chambers, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
And even just now, the pulmonologist came in, or the tech, and she got a 33 reading again. Is that something we should be worried about?
Well,
or
I'm going to listen to her heart. Again,
Okay.
yesterday I didn't notice
notice
that.
it? Okay.
But
Well,
if
I
the
thought
heartbeat.
that was a result of me having a pacemaker.
Could the pacemaker have anything to do with
No,
that? Yeah, I
pacemaker
didn't think
actually is supposed to prevent that.
so. Yeah.
Pacemaker, the reason we put that there is because the heart is going too slow.
Yeah.
And it has a setting.
Yeah.
We usually set it at from 55 to 60. That means if your heartbeat drops below that setting,
Mm-hmm.
that pacemaker kicks in and makes your heart contract.
Yeah.
So theoretically, you shouldn't be seeing any heartbeat less than the setting that is on the pacemaker.
Yeah, something's up because
Right.
her pacemaker is working great. They
Right.
came in and
Right.
she's never had a notifiable event. So,
Then I wouldn't worry about it.
okay, don't
Then I
borrow
wouldn't worry
trouble.
about it. Right.
So to summarize what you're saying is her plumbing is fine. Her electricity is fine. She's just having a water issue due to leaky valves.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And her asthma thing is kind of separate, but it might be caused just from all this discomfort.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, the fluid in the lungs is not helping your asthma. Let's put it that way. And
Well, that never occurred to me. I just thought it was an
right,
asthma,
right,
which was extremely uncomfortable,
right, right.
especially when you're trying to sleep.
Yes,
couple questions. Her platelets were at 500 when I think they're supposed to be between 100 and 200, and then they ran some subsequent tests. I don't know if we ever found out what's up with that.
I'll check it. Do we have it here
It's
Yeah.
583.
today?
Is what her platelets
Yeah,
are.
sometimes the platelets, when you're going through stress,
Okay,
it can go up. They call it acute phase reactant.
okay.
So that
I'll
can
buy
happen.
that. I'll
Right.
take that.
Right. So we see that a lot.
Okay, so
Actually,
nothing alarming.
There is nothing that you can do to lower it, but it will go down on its own.
Okay,
And sometimes even people live around there, 500,000, 600,000. If it gets up to like, let's say 800, 900,000, then she needs to see a blood doctor to
Okay.
find out why.
right.
But 500 is not at
Enough.
the point that you want to worry
500
about.
watt.
I don't know. Whatever the measurement is, you're supposed to have between 100 and 200. You have 583. They're saying
But
And,
where does that come from? Like, who's-
platelets. It's part of your blood.
Maybe
Yes.
parts per
Yes.
million or something
And
like
I'll make a note that your primary care physician would run another blood test to recheck.
Yeah.
And if it just continues to go up, then you need to see a blood specialist, hematologist,
Okay,
so they can. But at this point,
yeah, you're
there's
not worried.
no treatment.
So as far as recuperating, can we have her jogging tomorrow and working,
Jogging.
cleaning the house? What kind of care should we have for her?
Well, you should be able to do whatever you were doing before,
Okay,
but you know your body better than anybody else.
Yeah.
If you're getting extremely short of breath, if you feel like your chest is again heavy, you want to stop exercising and exerting yourself until you feel better. Okay? So you don't want to push yourself to the limit. Let's put it that way.
so you're.
But but your daily activities, you should be able to do those, yes.
So you're saying the only difference in her regimen is going to be a water pill, basically.
Water pill,
You're
yes.
not putting her on a blood thinner.
No, we
Okay,
are not
cool.
going to there.
Okay, so there's not going to be any shots in her tummy on a regular basis. This
No,
is something
no,
what
we
she's
just
concerned
we
about.
just do that in the hospital
So don't worry.
because people don't move around too much. We want to prevent formation of thrombus or clot in the legs.
Yeah.
But at home, you're going to be more active. You're going to be moving around, and you won't be needy. It's a hospital protocol.
No,
So
I
you're
know.
not putting any restrictions.
Yeah, I know it's
really.
kind of annoying. You get like 2 shots.
She was
Sometimes they
just
give
afraid that
3
was going to
shots.
be every day,
No,
forever.
no.
As far as care moving forward, then just things that we need to be really looking for, because like we said, her blood pressure's dropped not dramatically, but a lot.
Mhm.
That's kind of, as a family, what we're watching for her, because now that she's losing all this water, just check on with her blood pressure, and when the home health care people come, that's what they'll be checking on and stuff.
They'll be checking. If it drops too low, of course she will have symptoms.
Okay.
But if she's not having dizziness, lightheadedness with blood pressure of 120,
Uh-huh.
that's pretty good actually.
So what if we get back in the same problem we're having with half of the machines we use to check her pulse is still saying half, kind of like the gal that just came in, hers was showing half. When do we know it's really half, or what do
Well,
we do
they
with
need
that
to
number?
use one of these stethoscope
Do it now.
to
Okay.
listen
That's
to,
what they did.
because
Okay.
machine cannot pick up all
Okay.
the time.
Then that gives
And
us
as long as she doesn't have any symptoms, it means it's working
Okay.
properly.
Okay.
Especially if they check the pacemaker, they call it interrogation of the pacemaker,
okay.
and the pacemaker is working okay, then it means that reading on the machine probably is wrong. because it's not picking
Anything?
it up.
You said that the stress test was fine, and that the echogram or whatever
Yes,
you guys call it was okay, but it showed the water.
Yes.
But you say she has leaky valves.
Mhm.
Isn't that's in itself an issue? Is that anything we have to watch?
Well, it is an issue. They call it mild to moderate
Okay.
leakage from the
Okay.
mitral valve, tricuspid valve.
Uh huh.
When it becomes very severe, it's going to be needing valve replacement
Okay.
in the mitral
We're
valve.
not there.
But she's not there.
It's very minor.
Right. She
Okay.
wasn't even on water medications until now.
Yeah.
So first we try conservative treatments, water medications. We do echocardiogram every now and then, every 6 months, every year, just to see where she
Okay.
is. If it gets to like severe level of leakage,
Yeah.
then at that point they can
Okay.
talk about
A valve.
like valve replacement and all that. But I doubt it that you're gonna get there. sometime soon.
She's 96.
96.
You are a young 96. Remember that.
Yeah.
Young 96 is like 80.
So, when I saw that high blood pressure, I felt like that was really contributing to this.
It can.
It can.
Yeah, high blood pressure, if it's sustained, meaning like if it's persistent, it's just 190 for like few hours, 1 day, 2 days, is problematic.
Yeah.
But our blood pressure fluctuates
Yeah.
depending on how you're feeling. If you make somebody anxious or upset, their blood pressure is going to shoot up. In the morning when you get up, you're relaxed, you're not worried about things, it's low. Your heartbeat, same way. You get somebody upset, they exercise, they exert themselves, they drink a little bit of coffee, the heart rate is going to go up. When they're relaxed, stays down. So,
Go ahead.
so it fluctuates. If it's like for a moment, 1 minute, 2 minutes is high, then like after half an hour it's going to go down, then I'm okay with it. But if it's sustained at like 190, yeah, it can create problems.
Yeah.
It can damage the organs, other organs. It can cause bleeding in the brain, theoretically. It can cause fluid accumulation in the lungs. It can cause chest pain. It can cause dizziness. You know, it can cause other symptoms.
Okay.
But if not, if for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, no.
So as a family, the way to watch is this, her blood pressure and her.
Yeah,
pulse
you
rate.
can, yes. The most important thing is the clinical signs. If she says, I'm not feeling well, I have this chest heaviness, I can't breathe,
She's really good at knowing
lightheadedness,
her body.
you know, those are alarming.
Yeah.
You want to come to the emergency room to see what's going on. Sometimes you go there for like 2-3 hours, then you know you'll have some assurance like nothing is going on. Then you go home. You just don't want to sleep through it and say, okay, let me see what happens in the morning. You don't
She's
want to do
good.
that.
I brought my record, my blood pressure. Would you be interested in looking at that?
I'll look at it.
It's in the,
Yeah, but always create a log. So when you go to your primary care physician, they'll have better idea how to adjust your medications because when you go to see your doctor, there is a white jacket syndrome.
Yeah.
People get nervous when they go to doctor's office. They shouldn't, but they do. And once you get nervous, what happens? Your blood pressure goes up. Your heartbeat goes up.
well, I've
So-
had plenty of things to make
Because
that
your blood
happen.
pressure and your heartbeat responds to the situation that you are in.
Yes.
So they go up, so it may not be an accurate reading when you're in the office. You measure your blood pressure in the morning when you're relaxed, at night when you're going to bed. If you have too much time in the middle of the day, you create the log, date, time, and once they see like the blood pressure fluctuation over like last 5 days a week, they'll have a good idea how your blood pressure is fluctuating during the day. They can adjust your medication and they can tell you, okay, take this in the morning, take this at night, you know, those kind of things. It will help us to manage that better.
I'm curious for your opinion. She has a wonderful doctor, Dr. Weinstein, for the cardiologist.
Paul.
Yeah.
I know.
But he's out of Placentia Linda.
Yes.
And we've gone there before and it's like, oh, well, we do this, we don't do that. And then sometimes we don't see him. And so I kind of just felt, let's bring her here where you guys have way more stuff to do and to treat her.
Uh-huh.
And he's got a very limited schedule. And so we're kind of going back and forth on, does she stay with the doctor? She doesn't, like she can't even see him till December now because he's just,
Right,
he's not
right.
on so much. In her present, you know, her situation, is that okay? Or should we be really looking at a doctor that we can see a little more frequently?
Dr. Paul Weinstein is a great doctor.
Yeah,
Somebody that I wouldn't be hesitant to go there myself to.
right.
He's very thorough. If it's the accessibility issues, like you can't see him
That's
in a
what we're
timely manner,
kind of going back and forth on that.
then you may want to talk to him to see if he can see you in a timely manner. If he
Yeah.
says no, I can't because I'm too busy, this, that, and you want a faster response from the doctors, yeah, of course you can look into like other resources.
Yeah, we really like him. It is
Yeah,
just
he's
the
very good.
accessibility
He's
issue.
he's a very nice person. He's a good cardiologist and he's very complete. He
Yeah.
just works out the whole thing.
We like this hospital better.
Yeah, yeah. He used to come here, but I haven't seen
No,
him.
he doesn't
No,
come.
he
That
doesn't.
group doesn't come anymore.
So I,
Yeah,
I
actually-
need to make a change, I think.
Yeah, actually,
What's the name of that other doctor?
Landa.
yeah. Landa comes here though.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking of
Landa
meeting
is
with him.
working with our group now.
Oh, he is.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he has a private practice where he sees patients.
I think he does.
Yeah.
I think he sees
I think the nurse
patients
told us
in the
that.
office, and he's a great doctor too. They used to work together actually.
That's what we heard, yeah.
But recently, I haven't seen other doctors from their group. Fullerton
Yeah, no, one went to
Cardiology.
Arizona, I heard one of your nurses updated us. One moved to Arizona,
Dr.
Who was that?
not, and then there's,
Weinberg?
no, because Weinberg's
Bonavita?
still with Weinstein. They're still together, those two are. And then Dr. Landa
Bonavita?
is doing his own thing. Yeah, he went to do Arizona to do,
Oh, Bonavita went to
Um,
Arizona.
I want to say like a plastic surgery kind of thing he does with the veins or something. I don't know. It was above my pay grade. But
Yeah.
a special kind of thing he does. And so he went to
Yeah,
Arizona
actually,
to
one
do
of
that.
my classmates, we did medical school together. That's what he does over there
Oh, yeah.
in Arizona.
Oh, well, it
Yeah,
seems to be the
he-
place.
He does a lot of stenting and other kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah.
And, yeah, maybe he's.
So yeah, so it's just the two together now, the Weinstein, and then Landa, I guess, is doing his own thing. And we heard he's open for patients.
Yeah, he comes here a lot.
Does he?
Well, I feel like my situation is serious enough that I need somebody that operates out of this hospital.
Your situation is not that bad. It's pretty good actually, considering everything. But you need to follow up with the cardiologist
Yeah.
on a regular basis because your condition needs to be followed up closely in case it changes, so they can intervene and
Like-
do different things.
How often?
I would say at least every 3 months if everything is stable, because our condition changes. Everybody's condition changes. We lose weight. We may not need as much medication. Our heart condition might get worse. We may need more medications. For your condition, you want to.
somebody as thorough as
Weinstein.
Yeah,
Weinstein.
yeah. A lot of them are pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have good cardiologists.
Like we didn't even call him because like last time she was in for her pacemaker, I don't think we even saw him through that. Maybe
Right,
once.
right.
I can't remember. So it's just an accessibility, but we like him. Like he told Gramps, she's disgustingly healthy. I like his bedside manner. We
That
really like him.
pumps. Actually, she
Yeah,
5 liters of blood
it's amazing.
every few seconds for 95 years.
That's what we were saying. We talked about that.
Pretty
Her
incredible.
heart has been pumping that
Yeah.
For
long.
95 years.
That strong.
Yeah.
You know how many gallons?
Yeah,
It will be like a small lake,
yeah.
probably.
She's our little walking miracle.
Yeah, so she has been doing something right.
She has.
That's why she got to
Yeah.
95.
She's a good, real good person, and she takes
Yeah,
real
she
good
got
care
good
of herself.
genes.
She did.
All right, so I'm going to quickly examine you. And
The other
then,
thing is home health. If
Yeah.
we could get maybe
Yes.
like an RN, if you could put an order in for that,
Yes.
for like maybe blood pressure, meds,
Yes,
or
we will.
whatever and stuff. She didn't want OT and PT though,
okay.
so it's. I just wanted to throw that at you. Sorry.
She's very independent.
Her hair is nicely done. I don't know
I
how
know.
she managed
Yeah, I
to
know.
And her
Have
toes too. You
that
gotta
hair
see her
being
toes.
here.
being here for 2 days.
I know. She's
My
a
hair is
classy
more-
lady.
How do you stand on coffee? On coffee?
Coffee?
Yeah,
You can have coffee.
good.
But what you want to do,
Not
moderate.
7 glasses.
No, moderation.
Yeah.
Too much coffee,
Once a day.
yeah, raises your blood pressure, raises your heartbeat, can make you a little jittery. But moderation is good. Decaf is good. Another thing I was going to mention to you is that you want to cut down on the salt intake.
Yeah.
Okay, because water goes where salt goes.
Yes, but not eradicate it. Right?
Okay, she's been told over the years she has low sodium, and so that contradicts in her head why you're telling her not to do salt. And we understand the water thing,
Yeah,
but they're not saying you can't ever have salt again, Graham.
No
They're just saying
add-on
Be smart
salt.
about it.
no add-on.
Yeah, that's what she's talking about.
Like soy sauce, you want to stay away from it. Canned foods, they usually add too much
You
salt
don't
to
eat-
those.
and
You
you
want to
don't
stay
eat
away
that
from
much,
those. I would monitor my weight also.
Yes.
If I notice
You
like
told
2
her,
to 3 pounds of weight gain over like 3-4 days, that means
Water.
you're retaining water
Yeah.
because nobody gains
Yeah.
that fast other than me.
Or me.
Another vital question is, can I go home today?
Yes.
Good.
Hopefully.
Take a
Yeah,
deep
Lisa,
breath.
we're talking to a doctor. Okay, call back a little later.
Who was it?
Guess.
Okay, your lungs sound clear.
Oh, good.
Yesterday it had a few crackles
She
here
just
and there.
had a breathing treatment though too.
Right. No wheezing, and your heartbeat is pretty good. I can hear,
Okay,
good heart sound.
good. About being alone, like I
Uh-huh.
said, she's very independent. She isn't in a place where they can have someone call up and make sure she's okay. And we all make sure. We both live less than 2 miles away from her. But is she okay to spend the night by herself and everything, like she has been, or should she
Yeah,
be with
that's-
someone?
That's one of those questions that is very hard to answer.
Okay,
Um,
then you answered it.
Well, they do have a system
Well-
there where you
yeah,
wear an alert button.
right.
You wear that every night.
But that comes after the fact. Of course, when you're 90, 85,
Right.
95,
Right,
things are not as good as they were at some point.
right,
You wake up middle of the night, you can be a little confused,
Right.
disoriented. Your blood pressure may drop if you get up all of a sudden
right,
until readjust in a few seconds. They can become dizzy. We see a lot of people who are trying to go to use the restroom middle of the night. They fall.
yeah,
God forbid they have hip fractures.
yeah,
They bang their heads. So those things can happen. Older we are,
Yeah.
we're at higher risk for those things to happen.
Right.
But again, I understand that nothing is like home.
yeah,
You live at home for like 90 years. It's very hard to give up. It's a
Yeah.
big adjustment. But you guys need to discuss those things and sit down and say, okay, these are the risks that
Right.
you're facing by living by yourself.
right,
These things can happen.
right,
Sometimes people say, I don't care. I love home so much that even if it happens, it happens. What can I do?
yeah,
I have better quality of life at home. So you pick and choose, right?
Well, to me, quality of
I was gonna
life
say, we
is
know
much
her
better
answer.
than quantity.
Yeah. So like when you go to medical school, there are a lot of sleepless nights. You do on calls, or during school you do all-nighters.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people do. Those things are not good for you, right?
yeah,
But some people say, okay, I want to become a doctor
yeah.
because I like the
Depends
field,
on the risk.
but it's
yeah,
okay when I don't sleep.
Yeah,
You say, okay, you're gonna get sick. It's fine, I get sick.
Yeah.
You know. So you have to make that decision because she's thinking lucidly. She
Yeah.
knows the risk, and she knows what she gains by being at home. You as a family member, you guys know. So I can't say, okay, go to nursing home, go here or there. If she was my mom is 93.
yeah,
If she was my mother and she wanted to live so badly at home, that then I would say, okay, just stay there. We
Yeah.
just hope that nothing will happen. Because going to like facility, you give up your home,
yeah,
the place that you're used to for so many years. Some people don't like that feeling of like, okay, I couldn't take care of myself, now I'm here.
yeah.
So, but some people love it. They go
Yeah.
to boarding care and say, okay, it's
I
better to
know,
be safe
huh?
here. So it's one of those things that you guys have to make
Yeah.
that decision.
Well, we can up your. She is at Capriana, which is assisted living. She just doesn't take any of their services, so
Right.
we can look into
But
that.
you just have to know that the risks are there.
We get it, yeah.
Okay. All
You've
right.
given us so much of your time. Thank you so much.
problem,
That's,
no problem.
You answered all our questions.
No problem. So I'll go over the labs and everything else, write the prescription,
Okay.
and then we'll try to get you home.
Yes, that was one thing I wanted to know. But we do have a really good list of the prescriptions you intend we should take.
She's talking about a care plan. You're gonna give her, take these drugs, do this.
Yes,
She's
yes.
gonna get
Yeah,
one.
we'll give you the list of
For what
those.
they are.
Yes. I'll go through everything and we'll tell you exactly what you need to do at home.
When
And-
can I expect to leave then?
It'll take a little bit.
Yeah, my
Yeah,
part
you'll
is
be
easy.
here for lunch. We'll be here at least for lunch, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after lunch.
Yes,
Okay.
we can live with that.
Well, I'm glad.
She wants to go home and watch the World Series.
Yeah,
Probably.
the seventh game.
7th game, last game. All
Thank
right.
you, doctor, you've been very
You have,
helpful.
you've been really great.
I'm
Thank
glad
you.
you're feeling better.
I am.
Us
I
too.
Just hang in there.
shall.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
All
She'll
right.
be here
Take
and
care.
throw herself.
And at night when you get up, you want to use the restroom. Don't just get up immediately and walk.
No, I don't.
You get up, just sit like that for a few seconds, let your blood pressure adjust. Because if you get up too fast, your blood pressure is going to drop. Your brain is not going to see enough blood. You get dizzy, lightheaded, God forbid, you can fall. So you sit like that, blood pressure adjusts, then you stand up, grab the rail like this.
Never
for a
had
few
that happen
seconds.
to me yet.
But it's good that didn't happen, but just to have it in the back of your mind. So you
Could
just,
happen.
yeah, stand like that until your blood pressure is good. Say, okay, I'm stable. Now I start walking. All right,
Thank you.
good luck to you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you so much.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Okay, so,